me what you see when you look at me. Do you see another brother lost in these streets looking for his soul?
Trying to find my soul.
Or do you see another brother searching for lost souls in these streets? A street soldier.
Street soldier.
Here to help you get that chip off your shoulder, warm your colder days and sober your drunken ways, and find a way to help you get over these hurdles placed in our path. And this is not meant to amuse you. This is for all those who have questions but are afraid to ask.
I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. No. When times get hard, you lose your way. Open your mind and hear what I say.
This is a message for the hard and the soft. To those who tune in weekly and to those who keep an eye out for 8 p.m. on Sundays and turn their radios off. The truth hurts. The cloth has been pulled. We're walking around half dead. Use this show as your IV. Alive and Free is a new movement. We've achieved self-destruction. A street soldier promotes self-improvement.
Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah. Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Lady Estelle and the Street Soldier Crew, and we are back for another Sunday evening with you. Your host this evening is delighted to see that we are still alive and free. Your host, Dr. Joseph E. Marshall Jr.
Thank you, Lady E. Thank you. What's up, Street Soldiers everywhere? Alive and Free Street Soldier Radio. I am Dr. Marshall, Executive Director of Alive and Free Omega Boys Club, and a longtime host of the one and only Street Soldiers radio program. Well, we do everything we can to very simply make it good in your neighborhood. And we got a great one for you. Look at a show for you now. I've been promising you this show for a minute. It's going to happen tonight. It's going down. It's going down. I'm going to tell you, look, like call everybody. We're going to have our own referendum, our own, what do you want to call it? What was I calling it? Town hall on the second Trump presidency. Okay. 8 months in, we're going to do that. So look, I know there's going to be a lot of calls now. At least I hope so, because I know all of you was calling during the past year when we were, gearing up for the election. So I just want to tell you that's what it's going to be. We're going to do the news. We'll get things out the way, and then we're going to jump into it. 2 packed hours all about your thoughts, your concerns, your reaction. 8 months into the second Trump presidency. All right, Lady E, you good? You good? Up. You good? Yep.
Yes, thank you. I had to unmute.
She's good. Ann is good. Been a little under the weather, but she's good today. She's good now.
I'm feeling so much better.
Yep.
Nothing like a summer cold right before school starts,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, summer colds are like weird.
Yeah.
Better a cold than COVID, because that's on the rise again.
Right. Yeah.
Doing dishes and yard work.
Yeah, thanks for doing your thing. And welcome back into the studio after a 1 week hiatus that was sprung on us. I walked in, I was looking for Mike. What's up, Phil Martin? And here come Christian. I said, Mike got it. I said, but I ain't hating. I know he was doing something good. So welcome back, sir. How was the trip?
Oh, the trip was fun.
I know.
Very fun.
Yeah.
I had so much fun with the family. It was lit. It was litty.
Yeah. So you want to say a little bit of what you did, or is it?
I was in Atlanta. Went to a family reunion.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I got to see my dad's side of the family. They're Edwards. Her maiden name is Edwards.
Oh wow,
Edwards.
That's wonderful.
She passed away 10 years ago. 10 years ago. But it was super fun. I was out there in Atlanta, caught up with some people that I hadn't seen in a while, and was just eating all the food. Shout out to the Juicy Crab. I
Oh,
caught juicy crab out there. And this is my question.
Yes.
Seriously.
seriously. Okay.
Dungeness crab is out here,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And it's like when you go to the juicy crab, whatever the spot is, the boiling crab spot, it's like $50-$60 if you want Dungeness crab in your
Yes.
in your bag.
Yep.
In Atlanta, we're nowhere near an ocean.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
It's not known for Dungeness crab.
Right.
The Dungeness crab to put it in the bag is like $16, $17.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm
Really?
trying to figure this out, man. What the heck is going on? Why is the crab out here that much more expensive? When the crab is here, they like you gotta ship it to Atlanta.
You already know the answer to that question, Mike.
What? What's the answer?
It's called the Bay Area tax.
God dang. Man.
Everything is
You gotta pay for the privilege to eat the crab here.
See, that is cold blooded.
And by the way, Maryland got the best crab, the blue crab.
Have you had blue crab?
It's Frisco Dungeness for me, but
it's
all good.
Have you had it though?
No,
I didn't have it until I went to Baltimore.
Seriously, heard it's good though.
Oh man,
I said it's a little sweeter.
Yeah, I heard it's sweeter. It's sweeter than Dungeness.
It's good. It's good. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah.
I have fun.
You can't find it here. You got to go there. They can't find this. You got to get.
I went to the strip club. I was alive and free in the strip club, and that was good luck. Some my guy said at Blue Magic. He got me in a side deal. So
we didn't authorize that. He went on his own, folks. Okay, he went on his own. He a grown man. You know how they say that?
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on, the soul. You're a clean-shaven man. What happened, brother? You let it all go.
Just had to bring it back to, let it grow back. That's all. Ain't nothing. Tear it down to bring it back up.
Look, man, yours, lady, he's always grown facial hair faster than me. If I cut this off, I'll be 10 years from now. It would take 10 years to get back. So yours will be back by Tuesday.
I hope so.
Looking bald, right? Clean shaven.
All right, clean.
You remember when you shaved one time and we you made the girls cry because they didn't know who you were.
So look, and don't do this. So you do stupid things when you like I was into Malcolm X, right? I was into the vintage Nation of Islam Malcolm X. Malcolm didn't have no facial hair, nothing. Right. Like. I said, okay. Now look, I cut this little piece of mustache off, and Cassie saw me and ran out the room.
His own daughter.
She said, where's my daddy? I want my daddy back. You're not my daddy. I mean, she was like 7 years old, man. I said, baby, I'll never cut off again. Never. So cute. All right, man. Clean shaven, man. You're looking good, dog. I see the original. Man, you go back, you look so young, man. You can go to high school right now. Go to high school. Just enroll. You ought to sneak up on your daughter going over to Piedmont.
Oh, no. I'm a parent. I am not allowed on that campus.
All right. We got a big show. We're going to do this big show. We're going to get quickly into a couple of the news pieces. So you got one here, black mayors of cities. Trump decries a lawless tout significant declines in violent crime. And yes, he's jumping on everybody, but we're going to talk more about Trump anyway. However, the cities that he is talking about, specifically, I think Chicago was one and Baltimore. And they're like, what are you talking about, dude? And of course he proceeded with the thugs of this or that, but they're saying, no, it's not supported by any evidence or statistics whatsoever. So I don't know what you're talking about. But the good thing, is that they talk back to him and don't give him a pass at all. All right.
I heard from some people who live in DC today. The situation is tense. The folks I talked to, while they're not welcoming that presence, they're optimistic. Hey, they don't want crime either. It ain't like people just want, we just want to, black folks love crime. Come on now. I mean, we want to be safe too. So they are optimistic that, if it can lead to that, sure, they'll take it. But nobody believes that this is being done,
with good intention. No.
Nobody believes that.
No, we have to spin that and make it with good. Yeah, we some guy to get it. That's all we can do because he already did. We only got 30 days, I noticed, to do this. And
well, we'll see. Remember, laws don't mean much anymore.
That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. All right, a couple of interesting pieces. Let me say this. Happy 111th birthday to Ms. Viola Fletcher. Wow. Lady E, the oldest living surviving a survivor of the 1921 Tulsa race massacre.
Wow.
That's a lot.
She is 111 years old and seen it all. And that's so happy birthday, Viola Fletcher. Yeah. Wow. I know. Ooh, that is really something. That's really something. I'm glad you're still here. And one last piece, which won't surprise us and Lady E, because we have talked about this in class with our young people. The majority of Gen Z admit to bringing their parents to a job interview.
For what?
I saw it. It's a study. It's done. They admit it. I don't
That's
know how.
crazy.
I have no social skills. I don't know how to talk. My parents are going with me. Not only that, I just did that at a headline. Now going to the interview, but the parents are talking to the employers. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it don't make no sense. So they might as well hire the parents because obviously this young people don't know how to talk.
I guess I ain't Gen Z. I'm gonna tell y'all real quick how it went down in 1980 something. I didn't want to get a job. Mom said, I don't care. You're gonna get a job. I said, I don't want a job. The next thing I know, I was in the car. The next thing I know, we was at McDonald's. I said, what am I supposed to do? She said, go in there and get an application. Wow. And don't come back into the car until you get the application. And that's how it went down, y'all. I didn't bring my mom nowhere. She took my black behind and I got the job. That's called old school, I guess.
Your mother would do that. She would. She yes.
And I was making $4.75 back then, y'all.
Happy to have a job.
Yeah.
But bridge toll was only $1. It was the good old days. You know what, Doc? One thing I did want to mention in the news to you, Mike, too. I know we got the big fight coming up in a few weeks between Crawford and Canelo. Mm-hmm. But I know that someone else has put on boxing gloves a little bit closer to home, and that is our governor.
Oh.
He got his fist taped, and it's nice to see.
He said, "Don't poke the bear, because the bear will punch back."
No, Gavin don't play.
He doesn't seem afraid. I'll say that.
Oh no. That's just where he is. I mean, you got to have an alternative, right? And he's like, I'm the alternative for real. Okay, whatever you throw, I could counter punch better. We'll see how it goes. We'll see.
Yes, we will.
All right, Ann, you got something. Let's jump into this topic.
There's two things I wanted to highlight. Naya Binga Ziani has invited all of us to the Limitation to Liberation Experience, which is happening at the end of the month, August 29th. It's a wellness-centered, professional developed gathering designed for women in transition, meaning those who are stepping into a new season of leadership, healing, and purpose. So if you're interested, it will be taking place in Berkeley, California, and we'll have that link up on our social media pages as well, so you can learn more about it. And she does some really, really great work. So I definitely wanted to highlight that. I also wanted to say thank you so much to the San Francisco 49ers for inviting Alive and Free and so many other community members to join the training practice where
they went down to training camp.
Yes, and we all got to see the gentlemen practice, and they came and said hi, and it really was such a special experience for our young people. Yeah. Yes, and they really stayed and greeted and signed as much as they could. It was beautiful. So thank you. We're looking forward to the season.
Miss Debo, that's the way it goes. Yeah. All right. Okay.
What about the Raiders?
All right, let's get into the show. We got a lot to cover. All right, let me just tell everybody what the topic is tonight. So let me tell you why we're doing this, because a lot of people already hit, I'm gonna listen to the show tonight, is, as a run-up to the presidential election last year, we did a bunch of shows. We really did, because this is a consequential thing. Donald Trump was running against Kamala Harris, and we did a bunch of shows. Donald Trump ended up getting his second term in office, no matter how I felt about it. But all right, I said at that point that we would do quarterly shows, right, on how things are going. Well, things have happened so fast. Every day is so much every day. I couldn't do quarter. All right. So I said, let me do a half a year. Let me do it 6 months in. It's 8 months in. So I got to do it. Got to get the commentary. Got to get the pulse of people. I said I was going to do it. So we're going to do it. And here's how we're framing this, people. Let me how we're framing this. The way this says is, listeners, please share your thoughts, concerns, and reaction to the policies of these past 8 months, Donald Trump's second term in office. Anything, any policies, ICE raids, more, and so on and so forth. We're going to take calls the first hour and get your feedback, your thoughts, how you feeling, your concerns. Got to do that. 877-955-1061. 877-955-1061. Now, we do not, I'm going to tell you, we ain't name calling nobody. We don't do that in here. I legitimately and really want to know how you think. We disagree. We probably are going to disagree. We disagreed when it was during the shows that we had before, but we want to know what you are thinking at this point in time, and there is a whole lot to think about. 877-955-1061. Let me just say, when you call to voice your whatever it is you're going to voice, please have your radio off, because it takes a lot of time to get you to turn the radio off so we can hear from you, okay? All right, got that straight? All right, 877-955-1061. Listen to your thoughts, concerns, and reaction to the first 8 months of Trump's second term in office. Did you raise your hand, Sol?
I just know you said his policies. So what we talking about?
Everything.
The tariffs.
Everything.
The DEI rollback.
Everything.
Stance on Israel, Ukraine,
Canada, Israel,
all that,
Epstein, because there's so much. That's why you can't do it. You can't do it. All right, there's so much. So let me just tell everybody where I stand. All right, okay. Now let me be clear, people. Let me be clear. For me, I am still amazed. I'm still amazed that he got to run in the first place. Okay. Now, because I couldn't believe that people actually gave January 6th a pass. I still can't get over that. I cannot, because at the time, there's certain days in America that live in infamy. I don't know, Franklin Roosevelt back in 1940, whenever Pearl Harbor was, he said the day America lives in infamy, right? And certainly September 11th, 2001 is the day. Now, both of these were attacks on American soil. Hawaii, right, and New York. January 6th, I can't even remember the date now. Was it 2021? I don't remember. Anyway, whatever. Was an attack on American soil, I believe, in the Capitol by a bunch of folks. And, from what I saw, 21, he was behind it. That's just me. That's what I saw. And so, I don't see how people gave that a pass, because at the time, a lot of people said he will never should be president again. Okay. So to me, I'm there. I mean, I've always been a what they call ABT guy.
Yeah.
Anybody but Trump. And this ain't a Republican Democrat thing. It's not a liberal conservative. Yeah, him. Like I said, my 3-year-old grandson, put him in there. Anybody. All right. But somehow you pretended it didn't happen. That's the way I see it. And then, the law and order people said, well, maybe law and order don't really matter. So, and then, of course, all the people who were there, he pardoned them. So that's why, everything else that happened after that is like, whoa, okay, that's on you. All right. Now, we can get into specifics when we hear what you have to say. 877-955-1061. Give us a call. I want to know what you think about these first 8 months, and there is a lot that has gone on. It happens every day. And you know what? Let me say, maybe right now, maybe what really prompted this was his latest summit with Mr. Putin. Mr. Putin.
From Russia, yes.
Yeah, and of course, he was going to end the war in one day, right? So he said, day one. Well, it's not day one anymore, okay? It's day whatever. And, the latest effort didn't get nothing happening. So, obviously, but that's just Dr. Marshall. That's just what I think. I didn't vote for him. I didn't put him in office. I don't, so, and if I was grading him as a teacher, he would get a very, very low grade from me. We did this before. What grade would you give him? Okay. But we want to hear from you, 877-955-1061. You can call and discuss it with me. I ain't going to get into no arguments. You can just say what you think. Maybe it's something that you like. But I said I would do it because I said I would do it. It's that simple. Lady E, you want to have any statements before we begin? And as I'm waiting on these calls, maybe they're scared. People actually, I think some people are worried about speaking out, and in the second hour, we're really going to talk about ICE specifically. Got some great reporters who've been doing work in that. We're going to talk about that. But we'll see what we'll also talk about that. But, I hope that people they were speaking out before. I hope you are just as concerned now and want to say something. So, the number one more time, people, I'm looking, 877-955-1061. Your thoughts on the first concerns, reactions, Trump's policies. All right, we got a call. Let's go for it. You were on. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. You're kicking us off. Go right ahead. Yes, sir. Brother?
I mean, I can't work at the post office, but he can work in the White House. I don't get it.
Brother, you asking a question. I can't, I don't get it either. I really don't.
Yes, you do.
I like to be a police officer, but I can't be a police officer because I got felonies. But he can be the president of the United States. That don't make any kind of sense to me.
Yeah. Well, look, I if I would say some things, it probably wouldn't be nice. You look like you look, and he look like he look, and you got money, and you ain't got money, and whole bunch of stuff. Right. But it ain't right. You're right, brother. You're right, man. Right.
It's not right at all.
Yes, sir.
It's not right at all. And there got to be some kind of fairness in America. If he can have felonies and do all this and do all that, then all the young black men that got felonies should be able to have opportunities like that to have certain jobs and to do certain things that they can't do with felonies on their record. You understand?
And you know what? No explanation that people would give would really satisfy you. I understand that. I understand that. Yeah. And that's that fairness thing. I like that, man. I like that. There don't seem to be a lot of fairness. You got it, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, one love. 877-955-1061. That was the first call, and that's a good question. You got more felonies than me, or you got a bunch of stuff, right? And right, you could be president. I can't be a police officer, right? I love the whole fairness thing. 877-955-1061. Want to know what you think about the first 8 months, thoughts, concerns, and reactions.
I think it's 34 felony counts.
34 felony counts?
At least in one case, yep.
You got a lot of stuff. That's the whole thing that baffles you.
It is baffling.
Is the one part of what he's, and as we're waiting for the calls to come in, I'm giving y'all a chance to call in, okay? And one thing about for you, and it's like, oh God, because it's a whole bunch of stuff for me. Is it one in particular, or is it the whole smorgasbord?
All of it. Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. I mean, it just adds up. And so I think what we're looking at most recently is just, PBS. No. PBS. He wants to take away PBS and put in PragerU. Like, what?
PBS. Okay. We can listen. Right. You're on the air, Street Soldiers. Your reactions, thoughts, concerns. Trump's.
My reaction is this.
Yes.
After this period of time, anytime that we spend talking about we can't believe he's there, we don't understand how he got there, and all these things.
Yes.
Is energy misdirected.
Understood.
He is there.
Yep.
And we need to align and get ourselves together, unlike we've ever done before, from a grassroots, proactive position. There is an attack not only on democracy but on Black people in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're standing around passive and being in disbelief, I'm afraid of what might happen.
Point well taken.
Probably more than we have before, have to activate. I feel like we're fighting this battle. We're like a junior high school football team fighting against an NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are not playing.
Oh, no.
Out every stop. They're 3 and 4 steps ahead of us every single time. Like now, they're trying to redo the election so that we can't win in the midterm elections because of redoing the districts.
Yep.
They're doing everything. And we're standing around being passive, in disbelief about what has actually happened. The question is, what are we actually going to do to counteract and to attack the exact same way we as a Black community specifically are being attacked and threatened to be eliminated? Yeah. And I'm not being dramatic.
No, that's what you think. Yeah, no.
And I will leave it there. Thank you for letting me share.
You got it, man. Thank you. 877-955-1061. What are we doing to make things different? What are we doing to make things different? All right, jump in. I want to hear your thoughts, concerns. Is there a particular policy, particular thing that has happened that you are concerned about? Thoughts, reactions, concerns to what has happened in the first 8 months of this year, Trump's second term in office. I'm giving you a chance to call in and verbalize. I love it, what I've heard before.
I think everyone's asking on social media. They're saying, "Where are the Epstein files?"
Oh, we'll see. That call in and say it. Ain't nobody gonna bother you. Just like anybody.
Everyone is asking.
You know what's nice about our show? I mean, you got CNN, you got Fox, you got Bill Maher, all that. Those shows don't talk directly to the people. This show talks directly to the people and wants to hear from the people. Yeah. That's what makes this show so great. Yes. And we ain't gonna tear you down for saying what you gotta say. I just want to know what you're thinking. And I like what I've heard so far, these 2 comments. Or maybe people are just, I don't know if they're beaten down or whatever, or so on and so forth. And there's so much stuff that has happened that maybe the idea is to just beat you over the head every day that you go into, like, I don't know, a stupor or something like that. I don't know.
They call it doom scrolling sometimes. Like you're reading all this stuff and you're just like always on this, like, just hyper, I don't know what that's called, like where you're just tense and like, oh my goodness, everything's going wrong. What are we going to do? And then you have to just kind of keep on living because you still have to go to work and go to school and eat and do the dishes. But then, like, you got people, cutting Medicare and you're worried about your parents and, how you going to feed your kids when they're cutting, you can't buy soda anymore on your EBT card, just what is going on?
We got a call? All right, let me hear what people think. Go right ahead. You are on Street Soldiers, giving you a chance to sound off. Yes. Yep. Go.
Hello?
Go ahead. You're on. You are on.
Oh, perfect. That is amazing. Hello. I had a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Do you like cheap groceries?
Do I like groceries that don't cost a lot? Yes.
Yep, exactly. Because the other weekend, I went to Watsonville where they take the strawberries out, and I looked out in the distance and I see a lot of Mexicans, a lot of people my skin color, working for slave wages to keep those strawberries of 2 pounds, under $10 at like $6 at Costco. And I was wondering, why would Trump want to take away the huge labor force that works here in the San Joaquin Valley, away from us? We all like cheap groceries. I love my strawberries at $6.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this man is thinking.
Well, there's a lot in there. First of all, he said when he got in, he was going to lower prices. Day one, everything is day one with him. I'm just day one. I promise you, day one, bacon's going to cost less, right? I mean, it's the thing. All right, right. Look, man, yes. Yeah, I mean, and inflation, people are predicting inflation to go up because they're a huge part of the workforce. And yeah, you're right. And prices are up. I want to buy some.
That's crazy.
Oh, and then when I bought a candy bar, it was like $3, $4, $5, a little bitty Mr. Good bar. I was like, what the hell? But that's, yes, sir. You're making sense to me. You're making sense to me. You're making sense to me.
No, it's such a good point because yeah, no, I definitely feel that. And then so then we're looking at affordable groceries. People work hard to pick those fruits and vegetables for us. And then when you take them away and then deport them or whatever you're doing with them, nobody's coming in to take those jobs. So
they're a big part of the
then
economy,
what?
period. Right. And he had him working in at Mar-a-Lago, But we're going to get more into the whole deportation thing in the second hour. But please raise all these points. Hi, you're on Street Soldiers. Go right ahead. Your thoughts, concerns, reactions. Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear. Go right ahead.
Okay, well, when you talk about Trump's policies, and when I think about policies as a plan or a course of action to guide or direct his decisions for specific outcomes, I think he is just trying to make sure that his legacy lives on. And his legacy is to empower white supremacy throughout this country. So everything he does seems to dictate around that.
That sounds so
that's so eloquently spoken. Eloquent, especially when you see things like, oh, the South Africans, oh, they can come in, the white folks can come, well, why can they come and nobody else can come? And why are they singled out? Actions speak louder than words. So yeah.
So what I would say to the brother who called in earlier about what do we do, if he's acting out of his character, we just need to act out of our character, or as Dr. Marshall would say, what are we modeling?
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you for expressing that. He does know me. He knows me very, very well. This is my brother. And we have conversations about this stuff all the time, right? All the time. Is there one thing in particular, and it's so much that just like galls you. It all galls me. But is there one thing? Is it the tariffs? Is it making an enemy out of Canada who's your friend? Is it ICE? Is it DEI? There's so much stuff.
I think the one thing that astounds me is, and I don't know how many people could just follow somebody who's a bully and a liar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious.
Yeah.
But yet we continue to just listen and empower instead of calling a thing what it really is.
Yeah.
He's a bully. He's a liar. And
yeah.
Yeah. And someone said to me the other day when they were from England, they were over here. They were so worried about what would happen to America because of Donald Trump. And just putting things in perspective, we have been in this country long enough and lived through slavery, Jim Crow, pre-slave, all of that stuff, neo-slavery, and that helped them for hundreds of years, right?
Yes.
So if we could survive that, 4 years is nothing.
Yeah, I think the people who the resistance, of course. I mean, we've seen as bad, right? We've seen as bad, and I'm really not worried about what black folks gonna do, because black folks ain't gonna stand for it, and black folks didn't put him in office. Okay, that's the other thing. They didn't put him in. We didn't put him in office. A few black men voted for him, maybe 25-30%. No black women voted for him. Okay,
so maybe we know something after all, huh?
It's the folks that put him in office who are going to have to, get him out of office, right? And remember now, it's what was it? What, I don't know what percent voted for him, what percent is on, but yeah. Thanks, Jared. Thanks for calling, man. Appreciate it. Really do.
All righty.
All right, my brother.
And as Louise would say, this too shall pass.
Yeah, this too. We're going to work at it. 877-955-1061. First 8 months of Trump's presidency. Share your thoughts, concerns, and reaction. Go ahead. Your turn. You're on Street Soldiers.
Oh, all right. Well, I just wanted to say that I don't remember where I heard this from.
Yes.
But I always carry it with me. It's this saying that says history doesn't repeat itself, but it surely does rhyme a lot. And what I'm seeing right now from the Trump presidency is it happened back in Europe too. Like back when there was a Great Depression, a lot of men were unemployed, and the Third Reich, what they did is they created the SS and hired a lot of those unemployed people and started chasing minorities across Germany. And that's what I'm seeing right now with the Trump administration, with ICE offering $50,000 sign-in bonuses and taking all those age restrictions away. You see the similarities here?
Yeah. Oh, brother. I do. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I was careful to say the Third Reich and not Hitler, because Hitler was just the face of our coalition of evil. And it's the same here. Trump is just the face of our coalition of evil in this country, and it's not going to go away with him. You got to remember that.
I want to give you a little known fact. Do you know where the Third Reich learned how to be the Third Reich? I mean, the whole white supremacy Aryan thing and how to put that into law. They learned that from watching Jim Crow, from studying Jim Crow in America. They studied.
Exactly. Yeah.
They did. It's
how they treated Mexicans.
Yep.
When they were trying to cross the border here, we're going full circles in history, right? We're going back to what I was saying. History doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme, my friend. Yeah. Thank you for acknowledging that. Good point.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Keep the calls rolling. 877-955-1061. Your thoughts, concerns, reactions. They gone. Well, I mean, somebody else can get in. 877-955-1061. I love the callers. You don't have to agree. I just want to know what you think. You're on Street Soldiers. I said we would do it, and we're doing it. Hi. Speak. Hello.
You're on air. Turn down your radio.
Turn down that radio. Yes.
Thank you. Hi. Sorry, could you repeat that? I was trusting the speaker.
Yes. Go ahead.
You could go.
I don't understand how people can be so complacent with it,
Mm-hmm.
He's actively deploying people into the military.
Yeah.
Deploying the military into civilian populace.
Yep. That's right. Sent the Marines then.
Military state.
Yeah.
And people are saying oh, Trump's just an idiot. Trump's just, he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's all targeted moves to create this fascistic state.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's being, I would say, in many cases, supported by not only the people that voted for him, but people in Congress. People in Congress who won't stand up to it. And I look, is that what they want? I don't know if they're scared he'll primary him or he'll talk. They can't talk about him or whatever. They need to study the civil rights workers going into the South and learn how to stand up to not be so scared. But yeah, when I saw the Marines, you put the Marines in. I mean, the National Guard is one thing. Said the Marines on American people, please. Yeah.
He did it once, and then he saw that nothing happened, so he's doing it again. We need more people to fight consistently. Stand up and say, this is not okay. We will not just take this lying down. But a lot of people are just scared because of the power that he has and how he's not afraid to enact it. He will just strike down anyone who dares to stand up to him.
Well,
it's not okay.
Yeah, okay, but then he's got you right there and there. If you're too scared, then it's going to happen. You got to stand up. You have to stand up. Yeah, I mean, look, it's your right as an American to stand up, right? Isn't that what they did back in Boston Tea Party and all that stuff? That's what they did. They stood up. And people have stood up before when they thought things were wrong. You just have to stand up. All I'm going to do is call you a bunch of names, right? That's what he's going to do. He's going to call you a bunch of names and scare you. So yes, but conversations like this, I think, are important for people to put their voice out there and then keep it moving. All right. Thank you very much for making that point. 877-955-1061. He's not doing very well so far. If he was grading on this show, grading would be a D or an F, and he is on my report card.
Polls.
And he's not. He's not. And I don't know if anybody has buyer's remorse. And not that it matters to me, because you should have known that he was going to do this stuff. Why would you think character is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Right? Character is a big deal. So it's like, I didn't know he was going to do it. Well, why? Why not? You know, what is he? Look, 877-955-1061. Don't be afraid. We're not going to call you any names. You know what? He always calls people, what do you call them? Liberal, radical, leftist, Democrat. What? Communist? He calls you communist if you say you don't like it. No. That's not America. All right. A bunch of things. You get in again, 877-955-1061. We still have time for you to tell us right here on this show, because we talk about it a lot going up to the election. Your thoughts, your concerns, and your reaction to the first 8 months in office. I want to know how you make an enemy out of a friend. And I'm friends with you and Mike. How am I going to make an enemy out of you just because, how you make an enemy out of Canada? I don't understand that. Canadians, how you going to make an enemy out of Canada? All right. You want the tariffs thing. Look, I talked to a few economists. I'm not an economist. I don't get it. But one day it goes up, people say it's manipulating the market. Whole bit. I don't care. That's a bunch of stuff. All right, 877-955-1061. Your thoughts. All I want to hear is your thoughts, concerns, and reactions. Your voice. To Trump's first 8 months in office. I want to hear what you say. What else I got to do? He's talking about...
He could talk.
Oh, I'm talking...
He left, yep.
Yeah, he's talking about invading Mexico. You know that? Yeah.
Why?
You know that? To go into get the cartels, he's going to invade a country. Now he's gonna, like Putin invaded Ukraine. That's what he's talking about. He's always running his mouth. And you're right. Where are the Epstein files? You said you would release them. Okay, go right ahead. You're on Street Soldiers. Your thoughts on those first?
I think what we need to start doing is actually sitting back and recognizing that this is what's happening, and we need to accept the fact that those around us in our neighborhoods are possibly people who voted for him.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And that's the reason why we are not standing up. We thought for so long that we were okay with this neighbor next door, but yet this neighbor next door to us is probably completely fine with what Trump is.
If you voted for him, yes, I guess so. Did they get, well, if I get this one policy, I don't care about the rest of them, but it all goes with him. You got to take it all,
Yeah, Doc, but she's speaking for the folks who are watching saying, yeah, this is what I want. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
And I think that we as the people who are against what he's doing are now seeing that we really don't know who we thought we do.
You got that right.
Oh, yep.
You got that right.
I mean, like the last part says, the only thing we can continue to do is, stand up for what we believe and continue to stay on the front lines and protest against what he's saying. But then at the same time, protect your guys' selves. Be aware of who's in your corner and who you've had next to you. So who you thought you had next to you 8 months ago, probably not standing next to you.
I want to tell you, I discontinued a relationship with somebody because of this whole thing, right? And what got me was he demanded more of me, and this is he, than he would of the person he voted for. He demanded, well, you don't be a sore loser, blah, blah, blah. I said, but dude is a sore loser. Why are you asking more of me than you are of him?
Yeah.
It was so hypocritical, I had to cut him loose. I said, come on, man, that ain't right. You can't,
Yep.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah. Yeah. And they can come and say the same thing. Jump on. Here, you can tell me. Tell Dr. Marshall he crazy. 877-955-1061.
Part, right?
The soul wants to jump in.
You just have to spotlight your use of the word. What did you say? Discontinued a friendship. I love that. I've never heard it quite put like that. You canceled his subscription, basically.
In my life. Yes,
yes.
I did. I canceled his subscription. I love that, my brother. Yes. I canceled his subscription because he was asking more of me than that. And I would tell him, man, this is going to have consequences for me. You could be like, nah, I know it is. Well, no, Doc, it ain't going. And I said, I know it's going to have consequences. You know, you want what you want, but this is going to hit me. It's going to hit all you people. You know, so discontinue. I like that. Cancel the subscription. I like that. All right. Go ahead.
I think that was like the devastating kind of realization as well, is that, like the caller before shared, is that people don't care about each other and or feel that we are all equal, that we all kind of deserve, you know, a chance when whether we're up or we're down, you know. It's you're judging people by their race, religion, their social status, the money, you know. It is.
And let me say this. Let me just say, and the cruelty. The cruelty. You know, I mean, come on, man. The cruelty. The cruelty. The name calling.
Look, but all that to me went to the next level when he pardoned them January 6th folks. That was the one where it was let everybody know what time it is.
You're right. You're right. The law and order man, the law and order people, like, they pardoned him, man. Just like, dude, just let him. You, is that, I keep using the word hypocritical and phony. I use that word a lot because, yeah, we got a call. Got 2 calls. Let's do them. All right. You're on. Go ahead. You're on Street Soldiers. Your thoughts?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd like to make a good comment.
Please.
I was kind of disagreeing with what you said a minute ago.
Okay.
You shouldn't have disowned your friend because he didn't agree with you.
Okay.
I think you should have taken the time and educated him and tried to make him understand more of your perspective so he can be enlightened.
You know what? By the time the discontinuation happened, I had tried and tried and tried and tried, and it wasn't working. And the proof showed that he wasn't really, because he was asking more of me than he was of the person he voted for, right? So, yeah, like, I mean, you know, yeah, it just didn't make no sense to me, right? You know, we boys, we this, we that. He can be a denier, but I can't, but you know, I can't. Well, why is that? Yeah, well, you know.
Well, I understand, but I mean, you know, at least you did make that effort.
I definitely made the effort. Brother, let me tell you, I was like, man, let's make some sense. He was on a whole nother thing. He was on, I would ask him things like, well, man, make America great. When was it great before? Well, I ain't got no answer for that. I mean, I would just ask basic questions, right? I mean, he was all into some all other stuff, right, you know, and he was into this will never happen. Well, all the stuff he said, it happened. You know, I can read the tea. So yeah, man, but I like what you said. I mean, this show is about giving folks a chance. We can discuss, bring it up. You know,
correct.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling. All right, we got another one. You right ahead. Your thoughts on the first 8 months. Any particular? You're on. Speak. Street Soldiers.
Yes, sir. I was going to speak. I'm Wizard Wise. The first 8 months, first of all, I want this to address to the American people. I'm an ex-fella. Anytime you're going to let an ex-fella be president, what is that saying about everything at hand? Because ex-fellas, we're not allowed to do certain things. So if he's qualified to be president, then I'm qualified to be president. So all the expectations that the American people was expecting is not what it's going to be. So I don't know why you keep voting, you keep participating into these fictitious acts, enactments under their statutes. We're not under statutes. I advise everybody, if you're a Black African man or woman, to tap into your straw man. Understand your straw man. Understanding why we're up under this binding contract, up under the American dream, make America great again. He's talking about just him and them. He's not talking about no other race or nationality. So that first 8 months, that's just the beginning of the evil wind that's coming. Behold.
Hotel. I say, thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you.
You guys have a blessed evening.
Be blessed too. Yes, sir, brother. We will get through this. Woo! All right. We got any more? Or are we gonna roll on to the next hour? We got another one? We'll take it if we can get.
No caller, no.
All right. All right. Look, we're gonna get specific now. We're gonna go over we're going over YouTube. We're gonna specifically talk about ICE. Specifically talk about ICE. Got a couple of crack reporters coming in and talk about what they've seen. Going over there, tell them where to go to, Ann.
All right, head on over to YouTube Live at Stay Alive and Free to keep up with this conversation. You can always take us on the go with the podcast and the show and all the good things at Alive and Free when you head on over to stayaliveandfree.org.
We'll be back. Hour number two, Alive and Free.
Thank you.
Street Soldiers Radio. Whoa, what a first hour. What a first hour. What a first hour. Man, whoo. Lord, I had to catch my breath. I really have to catch my breath during that quick break. Our topic tonight, we asked the listeners to share their thoughts, concerns, and reactions to the first 8 months of Donald Trump's second term in office. I love the fact that we can talk directly to the people, and folks called in and expressed their, let me just say that. And I began with saying, as a former teacher, you get an F from me. Okay. It didn't sound like he didn't get any high grades from anybody else that called in. And so I really appreciate them. One thing about this show, unlike a lot of those news shows that come on, we can talk directly to the people. And yeah, so this second hour, we got some guests. Specifically, we're going to talk about ICE, those raids, this immigration policy, so on and so forth. So let's welcome to the second hour. Thank you all for being here. Let me just introduce everybody. First, we have, God, where's my list? Okay. Denis Perez. Denis, wave your hand in the air like you really care. All right. Thank you. Joel Umanzor. Did I say that right? Umanzor? Is it Umanzor or is it Umanzor? All right. Got you. Thank you. Monica Howell. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us. The soul is back. And let me, Lady.
Hey, Doc, I just got to say, my man's beard game is on point. I mean,
yeah, beard game. We're big on beard games. Yeah, yeah. I got white, but that's an elder beard. Okay. Let me ask any of you real quickly before we get into the what we really want to talk about here. Did any of you get a chance to listen to any of the first hour?
Yeah. I did.
You did. Well, what did you think about Joel and Denis? Just from you, what do you think about what the callers, just the tone that you heard and some of the comments?
I feel like it's desperation. A lot of desperation out there right now, and folks really are being hit. I feel like on a lot of different fronts. Just in the reporting that I've done, I've seen it kind of trickle down in different communities, and everybody's getting affected right now.
Okay. Denis?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Were you surprised? Because I'm going to tell you, in the first, when we were doing the run up to the election, I had callers from everywhere. I mean, I had a lot of, surprisingly, I was like, we had Trump supporters, called in. A lot of male Trump supporters I really want to reach across and, but hey, you get to do your thing. I get to do my thing. But we didn't get any of those tonight. We didn't get any of those defending or you don't understand or he's really trying to do this or, that doesn't surprise me. We just didn't get any. We got a bunch of people like, yeah, this ain't working out at all. And I don't think we had any buyer's remorse people, maybe they also don't want to call street soldiers.
And actually in the Trump, in the YouTube, they are sharing.
What we got? We got somebody saying we crazy. Why you so mad at Trump? Why you mean to Trump?
Well, one said facts. The next said Moji. He said MAGA, and he said Latinos for Trump. So
But then call and tell me what does that mean? Because I would personally ask, is that working out for you?
Or share it in the chat.
No, I really want. Is that working out for you? Especially with what we're going to hear this hour. Especially what we're going to hear this hour. So keep listening.
Yeah.
And then if you and I understand, some people, we have dealt with ride or die people before. Probably ride or die people that end up dead. That's the problem with ride or die people. And we deal with a whole lot of ride or die, from gangs to girls that get into ride or die what they do. Problem with ride or die is that you don't realize that you should have got off the train until it's over with. All right, let's get into this. So come on in. I first want to say, Malcolm, thank you so much for bringing Joel and Denis on and getting this quick, because I just decided this last night. I know I had the first hour. I needed some post for the second hour, right? And so, the soul sprung into action, and he's a wonderful job. And thank you, Ann, for getting Monica. Yeah.
I am so proud of Monica. So Monica has always been someone who stood up for the rights of people in the community. She speaks up regularly, and she does it in her line of work. And so I am so happy to have everyone here together, to share their expertise, to share their passion, and to really
Monica's
help us figure out what
your middle school buddy. I know how that goes. I know how it goes.
Out together.
And you say we go way
be a lawyer.
Way back. So jump in.
I just thought it'd be a good idea to give each one of them a minute to introduce themselves.
Tell
us a little bit about who they are and the work they do.
But I want to say to you, however, I took a good look. I read the stories. I took a good look at the Contra Pulse is booming, man. Your stuff look good, brother. I mean,
that's what we do, Doc.
Yeah, I know. But I got to tell you, it's looking good out there. You got to expect, and because there's been an attack on press, so you just like shining like the North Star. Oh, yeah.
Well, that was the point. That's why we started the newspaper, and we look good because of the two gentlemen that are sitting here with us today, two of the best local reporters in the Bay Area.
All right, Denis, introduce yourself. Just a quick intro, and we'll get into the subject matter.
Yeah, I'm Denis Perez-Bravo. My family's originally from Guatemala. I was born in Mexico. I grew up in West Oakland, and I lived in Richmond, but now I recently moved to Pinole. So I just lived in the East Bay, in the Bay Area, most of my life, and love being out here, reporting on it, and being alive and free out here.
All right. Joel, introduce yourself. Give us some, little background bio.
Oh man, thank you, Doc, for having us. My name is Joel Umanzor. I'm a reporter currently for Richmondside.org. It's a nonprofit newsroom operating here in the city of Richmond and West County. But I originated coming out of the Alive and Free camp. I was a Contra Costa Pulse alumni, so Richmond Pulse prior to the Contra Costa Pulse.
Oh yeah.
So we got to represent Richmond wherever we go, and so that's something that's I always carry dear, and it's a badge of honor for me. I got my chops and with Malcolm showing me the ways, initially. So I'm blessed to say that I'm here tonight, and I appreciate the invite.
You got it. Monica, introduce yourself.
I definitely have to second that. I definitely appreciate the invitation. My name is Monica Howell. My parents are from the Philippines, and I'm from Daly City. I did relocate to Pacifica, just a little bit south, in 2013. I'm an immigration attorney, and I've been practicing since 2011. And I primarily practice removal defense, family-based immigration, naturalization, DACA, and all different types of humanitarian forms of relief. I also serve as the co-chair for the Asian Interest Group for the American Immigration Lawyers Association. And I'm also the co-liaison for the Office of the Principal Legal Advisor. That's specifically for the Northern California chapter of AILA. And I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, girl, when do you sleep? That's a whole bunch of titles. Lord. Denis, we'll start with you. I'm holding two articles that you did. One says July 18th, one says August 13th. The first is titled Vigils, Raids, and Deadly Fall Ice Crackdowns, Right, California. And then the second one is titled Hospital Incident Spurs Push to End ICE Collaboration in Contra Costa. So just what have you're doing these stories? What have you found out? What's going on? Let these folks know this. And I love this, man. Journalism. I think journalism is gone, but like, no. What? Just share what you've learned so far.
Yeah, definitely the people of Contra Costa are coming out and organizing what they've already done. But now they're kind of being able to put it into action, more so to be relevant to people outside the circles that already been doing the work of immigration rights. And, because, for example, I'm a DACA recipient myself. Before I knew about DACA, there was already people out there fighting in the streets, protesting, striking, creating these things. So I think right now, you're seeing a mobilization, and I think people were talking about it before. And so what I've seen is I'm just trying to document, the pieces that are out there, but they're all connected. So right now, just trying to connect pieces together, give people a view. So, for example, that the one with the vigils, ICE raids, in the crackdown one. I just wanted to put together what's happening in Southern California, how it's affecting Northern California, and how it's an ethnic cleansing of just immigrants and brown people all together throughout California, and it's all affecting all of us, and we all have the power to do something about it. And so yeah, just to recap, just trying to put pieces together and show people how it's affecting all of us the same way.
You actually went to Los Angeles, at least for a short time. What did you and look? I grew up in LA, so I mean, like all the streets you read about, I know them all, right? I know that whole part of Los Angeles. I could not believe. Well, damn, I shouldn't say this. Yeah, I really couldn't believe. And this is one who's been through 2 Watts riots, okay? And I seen the National Guard in LA twice, right, in my lifetime. But the Marine, what they did down there was just unbelievable. I just like, what are you?
Yeah.
Uh, just in
So
your.
I got there like Friday. I got there late night on Friday, and I drove. I started driving throughout the streets, figuring out, where I could just touch bases with people that were out in the streets. I found out, downtown LA, the Metropolitan Center, ICE out of LA, Occupy, ICE. That movement started, has been started, and they're continuing there. And so I'm seeing the mobilization, like I said. And so there's a group of people literally 24/7 out in front of the Metropolitan Detention Center, making sure that people know that this is happening, that they could do something about it. And then going outside of the main center, you go to all these different cities. You go Campelino, you go to these cities where people are farm workers, and you have the same thing. People are mobilizing. And so you have a system where people are disconnected through just where they live and what they do. People are city folks, and people are just out there folk doing farm work. But they're doing the same thing. They're going to work, and after work, they're going out and organizing themselves and doing the work to be able to fight this, however small acts they can, but they're doing it.
Hey,
well, you also have been doing some reporting on this. What have
well, Doc, one thing real quick.
Go ahead. Yes, so
before we go to Joel, Dennis, just if you could talk a little bit about the death that you reported on, because I don't think everyone knows about that situation and what you were able to find out. Because I think that was the first reported, death due to the raids in LA, right? Is that correct?
Yes, I'm finding the article so I could just give the thing. But yeah, they're on in Carpentina. This is the town in Carpentina, Los Angeles, in Carpentina, California. There was 800 workers in glass house farms that were detained. One of them, he went up on the roofs, and he fell. Some people speculate that it was aggressive force by ICE agents that made him fall, but he fell 30 feet. He went to the hospital, and after a few days, he succumbed to his injuries and died. And so this is one of the first deaths that was recorded in a raid. We saw one happen recently where the man went onto the freeway and got hit and died. And but we're seeing that it's now happening more and more. And so one of the topics that I touched on in the story was that it's a form of ethnic cleansing where we have a group of people being targeted, and how they're being targeted is oppressive and becoming very aggressive to deaths are happening. And there's no care. There's nothing about it. In many ways, like you said, nobody's calling in to say it's wrong, that it's right. But we know that there's people saying that it's okay, that these people are dying because they're doing things against the law. So this ethnic cleansing that's happening, it's becoming more and more apparent by the deaths that are happening when raids are happening. And so the death of this man, and so sorry, I'm trying to find his name, but
I was gonna say, if you can find his name, say his name, brother.
Yeah.
Jaime Alanis?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
thank you, Ann.
So Jaime Alanis, who died. So Jaime Alanis died from falling 30 feet from a roof at Camarillo farm where he worked during an immigration raid. So power to Jaime Alanis, who died during a farm during an ice raid in Camarillo.
Thank you for that, for reporting on that. Joel, in your reporting, what have you seen? Wow.
I mean, it's like, we mentioned earlier the kind of hysteria and stuff that the current situation and climate kind of has brought. I mean, even, pointing to recently, the sightings that we were, hearing happen around West Contra Costa County on Wednesday. Yeah. We eventually were able to confirm that one person was taken into custody on a criminal warrant from the Department of Homeland Security investigations. Just as somebody in the community with ties, I mean, and people know the line of work that I'm in, so when people start taking pictures and sending them in, I mean, it was like popcorn. It was happening fairly frequently on Wednesday, and that's something I can say is, one of those things that stood out in this administration, at least since the start of it, is just how on alert folks are right now with everything, and how that trauma really continues to affect people, even in where they can't feel rest in that regard. Normal day-to-day activities are being affected. So that's one thing that for me has stood out in covering this topic. Since the beginning, we covered marches at the beginning of the year of the Richmond community coming together to say no to ICE at the onset of Trump's inauguration for his second term. But that's one of those things that has become more frequent, and I think more troubling is the fact that we have this restlessness among the community.
Mike, I'm gonna read a couple things before I go to you, because you're an immigration lawyer in this, and part of Trump's things is that I'm going after. I don't even try and imitate his voice because it drives me nuts. But his statement was, "I'm going after the criminals, the thugs, he branded everybody. Yeah. Everybody south of the border as a rapist, and everybody. You talk about profiling. I mean, there's no room. And believe me, I'm black. I know about racial profiling. Okay, so but apparently, what is actually happening is, and I'm just reading a little bit from a couple of these articles I got here. In Los Angeles County, there were 2,031 arrests by ICE agents. All right. Of those, 1,381 had no criminal convictions in, according to the Los Angeles Times. Not one. More than half had never even been charged with a crime. So I'm gonna read another one that is from these articles. As of July 17th, ICE data had shown that 47% of the people detained have neither been convicted of a crime nor face pending criminal charges. So if his target was this group, and of course studies have shown whatever, Then he ain't getting them. He's getting everybody who apparently looks like, talks like, speaks like anything of certainly, Latin descent and who knows else. So, Michael, they're not even, this is crazy.
So the first thing that I want to say is I absolutely agree with you. Just because I'm an attorney, I do have to give a disclaimer. The statements that I am going to make during the show do not constitute legal advice, and I urge anybody that has any specific legal questions to seek the advice of a qualified immigration attorney. With respect to the detentions of individuals that don't have a prior arrest history, it's not only happening to those that are undocumented as well. I did want to mention that it's also happening to lawful permanent residents and U.S. citizens. And the reason why is that I do have to provide some sort of context to the situation at hand, right? So what we've seen here under the Trump administration is an expansion of expedited removal and also an increase in detentions because the various ICE offices across the nation are subject to quotas now. They're expected to arrest a certain amount of people per day. So expedited removal is a little bit complicated, but I'm going to break it down as easily as I can. Basically, the individuals fall under two categories. So you either were arrested and detained within 14 days of entry into the United States within 100 miles of the border, or you've been here for under 2 years or less, right? So some of those folks that belong to that first category, they were paroled in. They were given humanitarian parole because there's a lack of bed space and they couldn't be detained, or maybe they had small kids with them, and they were paroled in even though they're placed in expedited removal proceedings to be here in the United States, and they were placed in removal proceedings so that, from their understanding, they could apply for some sort of immigration relief. So it's interesting because ICE, unfortunately, even those folks that have been paroled in, they're interpreting expedited removal proceedings as if you were ever placed in those proceedings, even if we paroled you in and we placed you and we told you that you can go to court and apply for immigration relief, if you ever placed in those proceedings, we have the right to detain you and remove you without a court hearing, which is definitely a huge problem with due process right there. Or the second category of folks, those who have been here for 2 years or less. So, with respect to the other part that I was talking about with the overall increase in detentions, you're absolutely right. We're not seeing necessarily folks that have a prior criminal history getting detained, right? They're targeting the low-hanging fruit. They're targeting individuals who are hanging out at Home Depot, for example, just trying to find some day labor to, maybe send money back home to their families. They're targeting restaurant workers. And the thing is that if they're rounding up groups of folks and they know about somebody having no lawful status because of a prior removal order, if there are individuals with that person, let's say the rest of the day laborers, they could be lawful permanent residents or U.S. citizens, but if they don't speak English well, if they're brown, they are going to be detained and questioned by ICE, which is super unfortunate, right? And I know that it's really scary to talk about. I'm really honored to be here with members of the press today because it's really important that we get the right information out to people. The thing is that what we want to spread within our communities is empowerment, not panic, right? So the number one thing that I wanted to say that even though I am making the statement that there are folks that don't have any prior criminal history or folks that even have lawful status that are getting detained, what we all have to remember is that everybody has rights in the country, right? Even if you're undocumented. So if you are approached by an ICE officer on the street, what my best recommendation to you is to exercise your right to remain silent. Don't even nod your head. If an ICE officer approaches you and says, "Is your name Jose?" Don't even nod your head yes, because if they don't know your name, if they don't know your country of origin, if they don't know what status you have, they have no grounds to detain you. The problem is a lot of these ICE officers are walking around with jackets that say police on the side, and so
And
people,
masks.
right. So people think that upon them approaching them, they have to give all this information, right? But the best thing that you could do is absolutely exercise your right to remain silent. And if you are detained, definitely know that you have a right to an attorney at no cost to the government. So ask for that phone call. If you're already represented by counsel, call your demand that you have a demand exercise your right to speak to your attorney, or request a call so that you can talk to a family member and that family member can contact an attorney. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is with respect to the raids and the increase in detentions, the major, let me see here, the major counties in Northern California, Alameda County, Marin County, stand together, Contra Costa, San Francisco, San Mateo, Santa Clara, they all have something called rapid response networks. So even though it's really scary to see a detention in your neighborhood, a raid is actually it's a term of art, right? So it's when two or more people are detained. If you see one specific person getting detained, or if you see ICE in your neighborhood, it's very important that you don't spread news on social media, not even word of mouth. What you want to do is contact your local rapid response network because what they will do, these organizations, they will contact they will contact non-attorney responders to go to the situation and verify if an actual raid is taking place. Number two, if a raid is taking place, they have attorney dispatchers that will go to the ICE office in San Francisco to actually provide consultations to those who are detained. So it's really important that we mention this because I think a lot of folks, with all of the detentions that are going around, they think that they are being helpful by posting things on social media or maybe by saying things word of mouth. But oftentimes that spreads panic throughout the community, right? So that causes kids to not want to go to school, parents being scared to drop them off. Even there are patients now that are afraid of going to the hospitals because they're afraid that ICE is going to be there for some reason, right? Um, and so it's really important. I'm just going to share this with you all in the chat. The California Collaborative for Immigrant Justice, they have it clearly listed. What are the exact numbers for all of the counties that I just mentioned that you can call if you think that you see ICE, if you think that if you're seeing somebody getting detained, go ahead and call that number and they will handle it. They will send dispatchers over there to decipher what is actually going on and they will get that person help, whoever got detained. So, but going back to your original question, I know I went off a little bit on
No,
it.
but that was important. I'm glad you said that. Because the three of us, we
Everything y'all
saw it in
saying is
action.
important.
We saw it last week happen, and before you know it, the misinformation, like you can't tell what's what in 5 minutes, you know?
Right. But I absolutely agree with you with respect to Trump painting this picture of immigrants that are here illegally as like these horrible people and criminals. Oh my goodness, like my clients inspire me every day. Like they're business owners, they contribute so much to their community. So it's just like it's really ridiculous hearing anti-immigrant rhetoric. And it's unfortunate too sometimes, like when you have news posts online and you see comments saying like, oh, well, they deserve that because they're illegal. But it's like a lot of people who say that they don't understand the context under which people are fleeing their home countries. The majority, for 4 years, I worked at the Central American Resource Center in San Francisco. And the majority of the folks that I represented were asylum seekers from Central America. And the conditions that they were fleeing were horrendous. They were fleeing to save their families. They're fleeing to find work. And it's like to basically like, put people down for seeking a better life for themselves and their kids. It's ridiculous.
Well, Monica, I mean, his whole thing is just to scare people. I mean, everybody's his whole platform is scaring people. The country's going to hell. Yeah. I mean, which is an American thing, by the way. Americans have been scaring folks. Women get the right to vote is going to be hell. Black people get the right to vote is going to be. I mean, that's the way they've done it all the time. And yes, he just that's what he does, and he scares people and like, oh, okay, we got to get. And the problem is them. We ain't got no problem. The problem is them, right? I just want to give you this little vignette real quick about knowing your rights. I read this story about this little league, or it was a little league. I think it was a little league baseball team in New York. I don't know, it was in Queens or whatever, and they were out playing baseball.
Saw that.
And I showed up. I showed up. Now, it just so happened the coach was a lawyer and a wise old brother, wise elder. And so he told the kids, don't say nothing. You can't do nothing. You don't say nothing. And he went and advised them. These kids were freaking out, right? Yeah. And he advised them and they didn't say a word. and the fact that ICE couldn't put anything on them, because they remained silent, he left. Now, even I, this just knowing that, it's something I can, man, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. The fallout, however, was the fear was so, the kids wouldn't come to baseball practice anymore. In that sense, the families were freaked out, because this terror that he's instilling, that has been instilled because of, and I gotta say, quotas, that is sick. That's sick. That's sick.
Hey, the best job, the highest paying, quickest job you can get right now is for ICE.
That's just
you can work for ICE tomorrow.
Yeah. So all this advice you're giving, everybody's gonna need. And we work with OSEA right here in the city, right? That's not right. We do that. And so it's just unbelievable. But to me, it's as un-American, although he claims it's very American, as un-American as you can get, as un-American as you can get. But I know a lot of people, who we just get. It's yeah. Thank you for all of you. Thank you for the information.
I like that.
What did you say when you saw the Marines?
Yeah.
What did you say when you saw the Marines? That was just nuts. The Marines going in Los Angeles. That was crazy. Go ahead.
But no, before I said, I just my thought before was I liked what the caller said before about history don't repeat itself. It rhymes, or it certainly rhymes. Because of just talking about now the Marines, right? That's a good segue. Just in the city and just knowing that they're there just for show, just getting paid, because there's nothing here happening that whoever here is here already can solve if there really was about it. So seeing the people really instigate against the Marines, that's what kind of really surprised me, because it's a double-edged sword when you have people protesting day to day because burnout, people are getting arrested, people are out in the street, and so it becomes inefficient at some point. Although it's needed, it's always needed because something needs to be done and it needs to be said. And but when I saw the Marines, they're organized, they got shifts, they got um, they're doing things very systematic. Another caller said about Little League playing against, or somebody playing against the pro team, right? And a lot of the times, that our communities, we are organized, but not in the sense in a systematic way like our government is and our military is. So one thing that I did want to say was that I think our people need to think a little bit more militaristic, not in just go out there and make war, but like go out there and just create a system, create systems of the organized networks, you know the numbers that Monica was talking about, these things that need to be happening even more. For example, in Vallejo today there was a run for against ICE, right? Things like that, getting people out in the community, organized in getting their bodies up to shape, and organizing, getting community wellness and stuff like that. Just like a system where people are organizing against it to better develop our communities, to be able to resist more than just online, or just petitions. And because again, somebody else said it's fictitious at the end of the day. And many times Monica might have to go through a lot of hoops, just to get one thing done, when somebody could just do it because they got the money to do it, right? Or they got the loophole, or they got what it is. And Trump is the biggest example. There it is. So I think our ways of organizing need to be, not in parallel, the government and the military or everything, but in ways, just our lifestyle has to change in a sense that we need to become just just in some ways, whatever you want to call it, but just a militia of information, a militia of just of community, just to be able fight back. And I'm never advocating for violence in sense, but even you said something about Malcolm X, and one thing that I liked about Malcolm X was that what I learned about Malcolm X, and catch me if I'm wrong, is that he went back and he started organizing around the gang life, and the gang. And a book that really changed my life was The Spook That Sat by the Door. And this main character, ex-CIA, started organizing around just the hood, community power, and youth centers and stuff like that. So I think it's the blueprint's already there. We need to organize, and people are doing it. And I think we just need to take extra steps to try to evolve more and be more upfront. Just getting people's faces.
To be fair, Dan, it's not fair. This is new, right? This is new. This is This is like a shock to the system, right? This is new. This has never happened before this way. The last time it probably happened in this sense was the slave catchers, right? I mean, when they were grabbing free slaves and taking them back, into the South. This is why I mean, I completely get this because I've seen it before.
Doc, you don't have to go that far. You can go to Japanese internment camp.
Or Japanese internment, right? Okay. When something like this is new and you really like, is this really happening? Is this really happening? It takes time.
Well, Doc, I would say that
counter strategies.
Yeah, no, I would say that it's been happening though, in terms of like when you say it's new. I think people have already been deported at a rate, with Obama, like he was one of the president that deported most people, but in the shadows, right? And so I think the veil was taken off for sure, but it's definitely not new for people that, for example, and I bring up my DACA recipient status as well, because my parents, would always tell me not to go to protest, not to go to protest, not to go to protest, before I became a journalist. And I would tell them, well, somebody's fighting for me. I got to do something too, right? Because those people already knew that this was not new, that this was already been happening. And so not a counter, but just to, I think it's already been happening in terms of like people have been rounded up. And most of the times it had been darker brown people, like we have like stories before all this was happening about like Asian people, building up organizing within detention centers and stuff like that. And so these stories that were not out in the light that now are more relevant, I think have been out there. And I think Obama and Biden, even though a lot of people care for them, I think deterred the truth to be seen.
Okay, thank you. Well said.
I do have to agree with Dennis. I'm just going to piggyback off of that. There were family separations happening under Obama too. And when the Trump administration started posting, for example, videos of people being shackled and sent on planes, I got calls from like friends. Even my husband was telling me, "Oh, did you see those videos?" And I was like, "Well, that's what happens, you know." But the difference is that he was posting it on the White House's website so that people were getting scared, and he was sending an anti-immigrant message to the community, right? So I do agree this has been going on for a long time. It's just that Trump is marketing it as, oh, look, I said that I was going to do this and now I'm doing it. So so we have to take what's happening also with a grain of salt, right? And I think it's also I really like what Dennis said about community wellness, right? Because I think that the press, the community advocates, the social workers, the protesters, the lawyers, we're all working together as part of a cohesive side that's fighting against what's happening right now, right? And I also like how you mentioned that Trump is kind of like trying to make it seem like he's going after the bad guys, right? Or people with a criminal history. I also just want to say one thing about that. I don't think that we should necessarily distinguish like good immigrants from bad immigrants, right? All immigrants have rights. I represent individuals who have criminal histories that have had, different convictions in their lives, and they've gone through rehabilitation. They've done their time. Those individuals have rights too, right? I don't think that they deserve to be out in these streets walking scared because they had made mistakes in the past, right? So I just want to make that clear to the community that even if you've had a prior conviction or more than one prior conviction, I highly urge you at this time to seek the advice of an immigration attorney because from my perspective, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? And I think a lot of individuals are scared to go to immigration attorneys because of what's happening right now, because they don't want to disclose what their status is, or they don't want to talk about how they've been convicted of a crime before, right? But just to let everybody know, us as attorneys, we have an ethical obligation to keep whatever you tell us confidential. So know that even if you don't have the resources to go to private counsel, there are a lot of wonderful community organizations in the Bay Area. We're so rich with experienced, highly bright attorneys that work for nonprofits that provide free consultations or low-cost consultations. And I also think it's really important for the community to know if that you had a consultation several years ago, and if that attorney counseled you and said that you don't qualify for anything, that could have changed by now. That could have changed because maybe you were the victim of a crime, maybe you're the victim of trafficking, maybe you got married or something like that. So it's really important to keep up to date and don't be afraid to reach out to attorneys to ask for help or to see if you qualify for something because laws change, your personal circumstances change, and that always basically affects what type of relief that you qualify for.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You want to add anything else to this whole conversation? Invaluable information, invaluable perspective, because it's crazy. What's going on is just nuts.
Doc, the only thing I guess I would add is, we saw what went down in LA earlier this summer, and you get the feeling like, the Bay Area is right. It's about to be on. There were sightings in the East Bay, Antioch, Richmond last week, and so we of course we don't know, but it feels like it might be time. Things are going to ramp up here in the Bay Area, and that's why what Monica's saying is so important, and what Denis is saying, because now is the time.
I think the LA, South California, and the Bay Area, they have logistically they're different in how they're playing it out. Because I haven't seen like large scale raids like how they do it. Like even the Trojan horse raid that they had in Southern California was crazy to me, where they went to a parking lot with like a working van or a rented van, and then a bunch of armed federal agents just got out. And I think what I read was that the people around there were there because of a fake job posting or something like that. So even all those tactics are not being seen here. What I've seen is like a lot of like what we talked about, asylum seekers going to the courts, or you have targeted raids. And so one of the articles that I talked about was just Coco County. Residents went, after multiple weeks, they're telling their representatives to do something about a regional ordinance to keep the sheriff from giving limited information about undocumented people. And these people are, how Monica said, they might have prior convictions, and but that doesn't mean that they haven't gone through rehabilitation or they haven't done anything. And I think one quote that really stuck out to me was by Representative Ken Carlson, by paraphrasing, he said, "Why even report if it's not really giving us anything? What we're actually doing is just profiling people who come up saying like, oh, they did some time here, so now let's report on them." And what this representative said was, well, we have a white person and he gets stopped for a misdemeanor, and we see that he did something really bad, but he, went through whatever he did, but we're still going to release them. So what I think what we're seeing, with Coco County in here is that it's targeted attacks within the sheriff, asylum seekers in the courts, and then Malcolm, I hope we don't see what's happening in LA here with the raids, but I think here it's we really need people to be on alert. And Monica said as well, she said it very well, where panic is not the answer. So people really need to be on alert and call these numbers and get in these networks. So when there is an attack or there is an event, people aren't scrambling because they are very targeted and they are very singular. And it's what I've seen. So if you miss it, you miss it. And so if if you're trying to do something, trying to help, trying to do whatever, I think you need to be aware and be connected.
Joel, any last words from you?
Yeah, no, I wanted to kind of piggyback on what Dennis had to say, and I think as an observer of various, city government and county governments that are trying to, I guess, address, address ICE in their communities, whether that be sanctuary city ordinances or countywide ordinances that have been kind of floated on, at least here in Contra Costa. There's really an exerted effort, I think, by city of officials to try to make sure that there's some kind of accountability where we're talking about information or data. There was reports that came out of San Francisco and Oakland not that long ago that shows that some of the flock camera data that was being stored was being accessed by federal law enforcement or ICE, and just kind of like preventing some of these outside, I guess, federal agencies from accessing these technologies that local municipalities do. I think that's kind of where city officials are at and trying to like curb those those leaks of data and making sure that their residents know that they're not being susceptible to ICE coming in and being able to access that data.
Thank you. Wow, appreciate all of this. This is wonderful. I just thank you. Yes, thank you for getting. And, wow, it's something.
Definitely, thanks for coming through on short notice, y'all.
Just gives you hope. It lets you know that we are in this together. That and I love that. Spread the empowerment, not the panic, because it's heartbreaking. And I just this is I just hope a lot of people get to listen to this and learn so that we know what we can do to help each other.
Lady E, bring us home.
It's been 8 months. Time to look and see your concerns and thoughts about the commander-in-chief. A felon with the highest job while other men are unable to get any kind of job. Hypocrite and dishonest, yet he kept his promise to eliminate and destroy, cut back and deploy. What really matters unless it's green, carried by those who comply with others who cheat. Leaders who lack integrity, trusted and believed by those refusing to see. Oh, but when the lights come on, what will you do then? How will you carry on? Things seen that cause one to pause is the ethnic cleansing of both black and brown. Raids occurring where lives are lost, affecting day-to-day living, getting no rest. Just remember, empowerment, not panic. You have rights. Even say nothing, do nothing. Don't even nod your head. You have a right for a phone call or an attorney, and then you can contact your local rapid response network. They will dispatch somebody as well. Remember, street soldiers want you to truly be, despite who's in charge, alive and free. This is Lady Estelle asking you to consider this.
Dennis, thank you so much. Joel, thank you so much. Monica, thank you so much for short notice being here, getting it out. We'll do it again. We got to keep
Thank
people.
y'all. Thank you, Doc.
All right, one love. All right, y'all. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good night.